whenever I venture to, that's the first place I touch in at. Not that like that's the first place like where I get grounded.
I get traumatic. It's traumatic for me. It's like I start remembering old shit.
Well, it grounds me. Like when I first went to the Bay Area, well, I used to touch down in the projects because, you know, that was my hustle.
Yeah.
And like the thing was,
Where in the Bay, if you don't mind me asking?
Acorn. First place I went. Touchdown. Feel me? West Oakland.
Felix Mitchell.
Yeah. So when I got off the plane, I got picked up from the plane, and I wasn't even hustling. That I was going out there to do restaurants, but it's just my nature. Like the first thing I'm like, take me straight to the corners. And so we drove through. You feel me? Find a nice spot where wasn't no niggas at. And I got out and let my feet touch the soil there. You feel me? To get, it's just a connection that I look for. And then I got back in the car and I'm like, I'm ready for open.
I get that.
You know what I'm saying? It speaks to me. Like that it speaks to me. And one of the things, like from when I was in my hustling days was, I'll hit the projects because these niggas can't fool me. I know the language. We speak the same language. I know the robbers. I know the jackers. I know the I know these people because these are my people. You know what I'm saying? So I always wanted to like go to the project, but now I go just to get grounded. You know, it's kind of like how people go to the beach and put their feet in the water.
So it's a lot different from checking in. It's not you going to.
Are you?
Because that's a big conversation these days, right? With everything that's going on.
Bro, I mean, checking in. People have a misconception about checking in. It's an absolute misconception, bro. Like at my height, I was one of the loudest voices within Grape Street. We're talking about Memphis, Atlanta, New Jersey, Vegas, and the Jordan projects. Like I spoke and people listen. Right now, bro, I'll call down there and check in. And it's not a scared thing. It can be as simple as, hey, my nigga, I'm supposed to slide down that way. What the temperature like?
100%. You got to.
What the temperature like? I made the mistake from Oakland coming down to LA, and it's the opener in my book. Coming down to LA, moving fast, and didn't check in. What's going on? What's up? Like I'm supposed to fly down there. I made the mistake of not making that phone call, and some things transpired the night before. I suffered the consequences at 8 in the morning. You feel me? Rolling through the neighborhood, car parked along the side. I'm not looking for it. I don't know what's going on. Go to bust a U-turn on Century, on Century right there on Anzac before you hit Wilmington. Two dudes jumped out AK-47 with the wetting the whole car up. I was like early morning prayer. These are the results of not hollering at your folks about what's going on.
I think that there's like two kind of thoughts of process behind it, right? Like we all from the crib. We all from some, you know what I mean? I'm from the west side of Long Beach. Grew up in Springdale. You know what I mean?
My brother Josh, that was stabbed in Compton, and was left out in a wheelchair to die. Mother Cindy, white girl.
Okay.
It's my little brother. Forgot what they call him from over there though. Had the big SD on his face.
From Rolling 80s. Yeah.
You know what I'm
West
saying?
Coast. Yep. You wanna?
Yeah.
You know what's crazy?
But what I was gonna say, I'm sorry, just to finish my thought. I guess what it is the word, right? Checking in, like I'm checking in, like.
Let me get a pass while I'm here.
And it's like, first of all, are y'all like concierge? Is somebody picking me up from LAX? Somebody making sure I'm getting to my hotel?
But yeah.
Yes and no though, because at the same time it feels like a little bit of an extortion type of.
That's the misconception. That's where your mind allow it to go, right? And that's why niggas is getting knocked because they're allowing their mind to tell them that. You know what I'm saying? Like my neighborhood been in this music industry with the check-in and all this shit since the early days. And it's like, you fuck with them. Like Boosie was just doing the interview when he say, I don't know a lot of niggas, but I got some niggas great. Mm-hmm. And it's just about when you come down, you moving with people who knows what's going on in the area. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like if a dude come down and get at me and tell me he's gonna be down here for the weekend, right? I clear my schedule for the weekend to be with him. Of course I'm looking for some financial stability, right? But also I'm not gonna take him to Roscoe's. I'm not gonna take him to Fairfax and Melrose. But in the event that we do run into some niggas in LA, I have credentials. He with me. You feel me? We're gonna keep sliding. Yeah. So it's how you look at it. It's not about checking in and like.
You know what I'm saying though?
But that's their misconception, and that's what they're allowing themselves to think. And that's what this tough guy persona come in and think they gonna just come down here because they don't. LA is the rap murder capital, bro. Like, don't play yourself short on this tough guy persona. You know what I'm saying? You got some dudes. You got some dudes from LA. Holla at them. You want to change the terminology? You won't call it check-in. Holla at your folks. Let your folks lace you on what the temperature is. Get a couple of your folks on your entourage as you moving through so they can guide you. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was talking about it in my book, like you don't even know that everything you wear in LA, bro, means something. Yeah. You can be coming here from out of town and have on a fucking Houston the Houston Astros hat and get your head knocked off.
Quick, faster than anything.
Get your whole head knocked off. You can have on a Seattle Mariners hat and get your whole head knocked off. White Sox hat, get your whole head knocked off. In Nebraska, whole head knocked off. Phillies, Burgundy, whole head knocked off. Washington W, Lakers, great. Georgetown, you get your whole head knocked off.
In the Jordan Center.
Even now,
right.
Get your whole head knocked off. So don't play yourself short. Like on this tough guy persona, holler at your folks, let them know you coming in town, and y'all map out your route.
Get with your city guy, your local city guy.
A lot of people from out of town, when they come here, is they'll go, well, I ain't on that, and think they exempt just because they say, I ain't on that. Like, everybody can get it. It don't matter who you are. And this is the thing, I see a lot on the internet, you know, rest in peace to anybody or everybody who been a victim of some type of violence in the city. But it's this misconception that only in LA that this shit happens.
No.
This shit happen in every city you could think of, even Atlanta, the ones you wouldn't imagine.
Whoever.
And you have to check in with your folks.
You got to. Like,
I'm going to Atlanta. I'm going to Atlanta on the 27th, and I'll be there to the 1st. I've already shot text messages and emails. It ain't about paying no niggas. It's like, man, I'm finna hit your town. Let's get together. Just alert them.
But even with that, even with that, it's like
that's what we normally
paying niggas, right? Like even with that, why wouldn't you take care of people who taking care of you?
Exactly.
Why wouldn't you take them out to eat and go a few dollars? Because you know they
especially
probably
the rich rapper,
right? If they ain't living like you, like dude, I ain't the rich rapper, but I'll still go to the hood. Even though I made the comment, I was like, I don't really want to spend no time in the projects because I don't have. First of all, I don't got no time to be hanging out anyway. I'm there for a reason. I'm probably giving out something, running some type of program or something, and then I'm out. Then I'm back on the bird, back home to do something else, right? But, dude, why wouldn't you take care of your folks? That's the problem with us anyway. It's like, I don't care if you a goon, if you an entrepreneur, if you a regular 9 to 5, if you a kid, adult, whatever. Dog, if you in a position where you can do something for somebody,
do it.
Just do it. And guess what they gonna do for you when you show back up? Oh, what you need? Don't even worry about that. I got you. You need a haircut. You need some weed. You need some drink. You need some protection. You need some girls. You need some whatever you own. You know what I'm saying? they gonna take care of you. So a lot of times, I ain't gonna sit here and pretend like extortion don't happen in the nation. It happens, but it ain't like how everybody think, especially when you speak about LA.
Yeah.
You think every rapper that come to LA is getting extorted and they getting pressed up on to pay money for protection. That don't happen. Sometimes niggas just fuck with you.
Yeah.
And they like, oh, you good?
But there's some instances of that though.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
You know what
Of
I'm saying?
course, that's inevitable.
But that's everywhere.
Anywhere.
You know what I'm saying? Everywhere.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, they made this comment about does it happen to white rappers and act performers and all that shit. And I think that for the most part, it's a cultural thing. Like, you associating yourself with the streets. You know what I'm saying? And then who's to say it's fair? But my boy Nipsey said it best. Keep the hood up out of your name. Keep the hood up out of your mouth or you gotta be charged. A lot of people are making millions off their association with the hood, with the streets or whatever. And like, that shit costs.
Yeah.
It's a licensing fee.
Yeah. It's almost like you can't have one foot in,
Sync license.
one foot in, one foot out, right?
Yeah,
Extortion
yeah.
happens different when it comes to other communities. It's like they're extorting, it may be in a white collar crime type of way. It's just a little bit different. It's like if you don't move like that, but it's just like anywhere. When you go to Atlanta, you have your people.
Oh,
that
you know.
But again, it's looked at a
I was
different
just in the
context.
Yeah.
Because
Vince Phillips. You know what I'm saying? Attorney to everybody, but also from Southwest.
Yeah.
Whoever I need to call. You know what I'm saying? I'm calling Tricky Stewart. You know, I'm like, Tricky, where I'm moving at.
Yeah.
Yo, stay at the
That's
St.
what it is.
Regis. You know what I'm
just
saying?
gets a different
Because he
context
knows me.
when
Go
there's
to the garden
gangs
room.
It's not a different
involved.
concept
Well,
with the game.
different
It's-
context.
It's
How
your
people view it.
own mindset about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's your own mindset about it. Like, he has relationships with these dudes,
Yeah.
right? You have some people that just want you around for protection. They're not even establishing a relationship. And that's what, like what Stix said, like, I look out for you, you look out, you're you're cultivating a relationship where the idea of extortion is no longer in play. You know what I mean? Like, you get rid of that by cultivating a relationship, a friendship, a kinship, right? And like, that's what I'm saying. Like, when I go places, I have people that I call. Shit, when I go down to my own neighborhood,
What?
I call in. Like, and I was a big dog, and I
Because
called
the young
in.
guys don't know.
No, it ain't the
even
fact that
that.
they don't know. I don't have to worry about that. Right? What I'm saying is, I'm so far removed from the day to day
Yeah.
So what's going on at
Yeah.
that
that you
moment?
want to know how to move.
When you walk in.
And niggas and my folks done told me, hey, look, man, you got what you got going on. Stay away. We gonna come see you. And they'll come up here and give me that energy. You know, to be with my folks. They'll come up here and eat and kick it and shoot the shit and keep me from going down there
Beautiful.
so we won't suffer a tremendous loss.
Advocacy.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, to add to that, I probably get a call maybe 3-4 times a week, right? Yo, you good? Why you still go to the hood? Why you still doing that? Why you still there? And I'm, you know, I'll be a liar if I said I didn't think about safety. But why wouldn't I think about safety? Nigga, I can get my head blown off right in front of my
Anyway.
house, God forbid.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't even live, you know, I got a crib and watch still, but you know what I mean? So for me, the thing that I get mad at is when we get money, our first thing is let's move out the hood. I think that's systemic, dog. Honestly. Because what we do, we get paid,
And reinvest somewhere else.
we go to Beverly Hills. When we get real money, right, we go to Beverly Hills.
Reinvest
or we go
somewhere. Schools.
The schools
our
get
kids
better
go
in
to
the areas
schools.
that we don't grow up in.
Yeah.
They get all of that tax, and then they got we paying the police salary to police us in the hoods that don't want us. That's the crazy flip side of it.
Wait, say that again?
So when we move into like the Beverly Hills and all of these areas, remember our tax dollars is paying the police.
Yeah. Well,
So-
we ain't wanted it.
So where we ain't wanted at, our money is paying them to police us and
Yeah,
get
but
us out of it.
we're not wanted in the hood either.
But here's the thing, but this is because the problem is, and I don't want to call it a problem, I just think this is something that we didn't have control over because I say this all the time. we just learned how to read and write, meaning like 50, 60 years ago. We was getting killed and hung for knowing how to read and write. So that's when they say we so far behind. Oh, it's a reason why we so far behind. So I say that to say this. The hood don't want us there because they don't realize.
Not the people.
No, the system
Yes.
is perpetuating the same thing to produce the crime, to keep bringing the drugs, keep bringing the guns.
Of course. So when you say when we get an opportunity to get some bread, why you don't want to remove yourself from that?
I think you do. I think you do because
Yeah.
I have.
That's
right?
what I'm saying.
But I still think dollars still need to be invested back in the hood.
Of course.
So we can get the better schools and get the resources
Of
and
course.
get the right programs, get the
I
property value go up.
I thought you were saying like,
Stay there.
no. I mean, I still go down there.
Yeah.
You feel me? But if I know,
That the element is the element.
if
Why
I
put
know,
yourself in the
if
element?
I know that what's going on,
Yeah.
because I lived it, and then I have children, I have an opportunity to remove them from this. Yeah, everywhere has problems,
Yeah.
but I know this one,
Right.
Yeah.
so I'm gonna give them a better opportunity
Absolutely.
because I've come to learn what opportunity represent. You know what I mean? There's not much opportunity. Yeah.
And not to cut you off, just so we don't get too deep, let's talk about the opportunities that both of you are providing. Let's talk about
The
date-wise.
gumbo?
Like the conception of it, because I want my first iteration of you was music.
Yeah, music.
So let's like, how do we go from there to where you're sitting now?
You know, in my neighborhood, and I'm one of the very few who is able to kind of touch each corner.
Shit. Yeah. You damn right about that.
Like I could go, one day I could be in the Nickersons
Okay.
and churching, and the next day I could be in the Imperial Courts churching, and then the next day be at the JD's churching, and then go to Gonzaga with in Haciendas, and you know what I mean? I don't really know too many. Oh yeah, it's game time. I don't really know too many like that from our neighborhood, right? So because I've been able to be in all four corners and outside of those corners, I'm able to hear a lot of the complaints about what people don't got or what they mad at or what the issue is. And since I've been a little kid, man, I don't like complaining. I hate hearing people complain. That shit is annoying to me. So if I'm gonna get annoyed by complaints, I feel like I need to do something about it.
Okay.
So music did what it did, right?
Okay.
For me, produced some moderate success, made some good money. I was able to pay some bills off of music. You know what I mean? And I said, as soon as I got the opportunity, I wanted to do something for my neighborhood. Because Watts is fucked up. Like people, I say that loosely, but it's some people who really fucked up in the hood. And they look like us,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so I said, you know what? First thing I want to do is I want to feed people, man. So it's crazy when the pandemic hit. Watts was, the news didn't really cover this, but Watts was one of the most hardest hit cities in all of Los Angeles
During COVID.
during COVID because of COVID. A lot of people was catching COVID. Kids wasn't going to
Underserved
school.
communities. No
You know what I mean?
clinics.
Shit like that. Nothing, right? So it's funny. The homie AJ hit me from #Lunchbag.
We just had him on the show.
Yeah. So he hit me and was like, "Yo, Stix, I got this thing with Beyond Meat because I'm a vegan." And he's like, "Yo, I got this thing with Beyond Meat. They want to give out 1 million like vegan burgers. You know anybody who want it?"
Yeah, absolutely.
I said, "Hell yeah." I literally for 9 weeks straight, every single day, gave out hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of burgers. I set up a team of delivery drivers, just called people I knew. Hey, we need to deliver these burgers to these kids that go to school because they was out of school, and these kids survive on free lunch. So they not eating the whole day, and I know this. They living in the project. So I was in the projects. I was outside the projects. I'm in South Central. I'm in Compton. I'm in all of these areas where I know kids that I know. Or people who I know got family that go to these schools. We was delivering burgers to their house every single day for 9 weeks straight. until LAUSD finally implemented the grab and go shit, right? So I was like, all right, cool. Then I found out they wasn't doing no school, nothing. So I was like, why they ain't going to, so I'm asking questions directly. We ain't got no internet. How we gonna do distance learning and we ain't got no internet?
Yep.
So, first thing I do, call superintendent. I said, hey man, the kids in Watts, they don't got no internet or no Chromebooks. He said, man, I ain't gonna lie to you. Sometimes Watts getting forgotten about because LAUSD is so big. I said, word? Well, let me take care of that. I literally went on my Facebook. That's simple, went on my Facebook. Who all don't got internet and a device, I'm gonna help you get it. I got thousands of messages in an hour on my Facebook, right? Got with the superintendent, he connected me to the warehouse. They did a deal with T-Mobile. Boom, got it out to thousands of kids. Chromebooks, devices, shit like that. It's just hearing the problem and doing. And I can go on and on about the water. People don't know in Watts, you lose 12 years of, I think it's 12 or 13, 12 years of life expectancy because of the water. Living in Watts.
Wait.
This is
water
a
that bad that your life declined.
your life, bro. It's a LA County report right now. You can pull up. It's on Google. You can read the shit. If I'm lying, I'm flying, and I ain't never flew off my feet yet. You know what I'm saying? You lose 12 years of life expectancy living in Watts because of the water. So much lead and impurities and toxins and all of that stuff in it.
Yeah.
All of the years of contamination and all of that. You lose life. So I got with another organization. And I was like, yo, what y'all got? Jaden Smith actually, and my boy Drew Fitzgerald. We got these water boxes that they installed in Flint, in Mississippi, all of these areas. I was like, we need to bring some of those in Watts. So we put one at the Fundy building, WLCAC. These are prominent locations in Watts. And we installed them, and like homeless people, anybody can go get free water whenever they want to. It's 100% pure. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, what made me transition is I couldn't, 5 years, 6 years ago, I wouldn't have told you, oh yeah, I'm gonna just commit to just giving back to the hood, to my neighborhood, and everywhere else. Cause now we in New York, I'm moving into Flint, all these different areas. I had one thing in mind. I wanted to put Watts on the map because I felt like we're a neighborhood who get forgotten about, but we got so much rich history. Yeah. First of all, black people in Los Angeles, California, came from Watts. During the second migration, you either went to Oakland or you went to Watts. Yep. If you came to the West Coast. Period. You didn't go nowhere else. The population went from like 30,000 to 300,000 instantly when we was escaping slavery. So that's telling you right there, we all are children and descendants from Watts, California. They call it Watts is the motherland. So I'm like, that's why I feel like people like us, we build these crazy stories and we continue to grow every single day. Yes. And it gets bigger and bigger because we have this energy that was that we inherited from God because of what we mean to the community. Because of them circumstances. Mm-hmm. And this is like an ordained thing. Like, we just so happen to be born there. You know what I'm saying? My whole family went to Jordan High School. You know what I'm saying? My mom, everybody grew up in Watts. So I felt like I said back then I had an obligation to put my city on the map, to tell the history, and make sure the people that's there, if I can take care of them right now, I'll do it. But now, obviously, gentrification is happening. A lot of them are getting pushed out. So you know what I said? I'm going to go where they're getting pushed, and I'm going to set up what they need there before they get there. So by the time they get there, I can still say I'm taking care of home.
That's dope.
Ordained steps. Ordained. Your steps have been ordained. I mean, the book, the restaurant, the food, like, let's go through your process. Let's go through your evolution. Let's talk about it like raw and uncut.
I mean, to be honest with you, bro, like, I don't know.
Came out of prison.
Of course.
Okay.
I came from, so that's the whole thing. That was the one of the main purposes of the book.
Okay.
Because everybody start my story from prison.
Okay.
And my story go way before prison.
Yeah.
You know, grew up in the projects, participated in every aspect of gang and street culture.
What project?
Jordan Downs.
Okay.
which led me to go to prison for 10 years, you know. And I think that I went through all that to establish relationships and connections because, as Stix was saying, I am one that was able to, and still able to go to the four corners, you know, and I bang. But I people listen to me. And I think I went through these things in life to establish these relationships to where now I'm in a position where I can speak and people will hear me. You know what I'm saying? Because of the connection that we established on our journey. You got to think about a lot of times someone trying to give you some word of advice, and it's like, you don't know what I'm going through, I want to hear that. Can't nobody deny me that. Like, everyone knows, like Watts know, not just my neighborhood, every project, everybody on the back streets know my hand, know my struggle, like they witnessed it. And so when I had got an opportunity, to get a job at Loco. That's where it started. And one of the things that we first pushed for was 100% community hire. I mean, to the fact that I was taking applications to people that were sitting on the couch watching TV in the project. You know what I'm saying? But that wound up not working out. And when I got fired, when I got laid off because I started losing money, I got upset and I shut the restaurant down. Like, y'all can't operate in my hood. Sell the trucks, turn the trucks around, take the shit back to the warehouse. And I watched the people that worked there. They were crying, bro. They were crying. And I was doing exactly the other people that were done to me. And right then I realized the position I was in, you know? And so from there on out, I mean, I opened the restaurant back up, allowed them to keep going. And from there, I just committed to giving opportunity and not taking it away. I stopped taking opportunity away from people. And I've just been on a mission to give opportunity and leveraging my platform, my position to provide opportunity. There was a situation where I had a chance to, one, open another restaurant. And I'm like, I'm too busy. I don't have the bandwidth to deal with it. And I'm like, when I thought about it, I'm like, damn, you that selfish. Because you can't have it, no one else can. Right? So I came and talked to my team. I was like, look, I got an opportunity to open another restaurant. I don't have the capacity. But what I would do is aid you guys if y'all wouldn't take on ownership.
Wow.
And so you have someone who went from a server and worked their way up to a general manager who now will have some ownership in their life. Say with the bartender, you know, educated him on making liquor, and then just gave him the job to help develop formulas. And so when we get this liquor company, of course I'm partnering with it.
Trust and leadership.
You know? And I know how important opportunity is because it was through opportunity that I sit here.
Yeah.
You know, I did 10 years in prison.
With the 10 years, not to cut you off, but I think a lot of us, we walk through day-to-day things, and it's, for a lot of people, the day-to-day things are unbearable. How are you able to pick yourself up after sitting down for 10 years and coming
How
out
were you
and-
able to navigate the 10 years that you were in their lives?
I never laid down. I never laid down.
Tell them what WAT stand for.
We are taught to survive.
Yeah, taught to survive.
WATTS, and that's it. You know, they have this thing about incarceration rehabilitation, and that shit ain't nothing but the community just in the smaller quarters. You know, the same neglect we have in Watts and Oakland and all these other places, the same neglect goes on there, right? The same way that we have to form underground economies because we're not allowed to participate in mainstream society, we do it there. You know, I mean, how can you convince me that you will allow a people or a community to go through things and go to prison and then put money into the prison to rehabilitate them? Why not put it in the community before they go to prison?
I get there. Yeah.
You feel me? Because you can cover the lie up with the prison. You can't cover the lie up with investing in the community. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can lie about the investment in the prison. We don't get to see it. But it would be transparent if you did it in the community.
Because you see it.
You will
You're
see
gonna see it. Yeah.
So with you, speaking of that, to that point, all the work that you're doing in your community, other communities, personally, do you ever get like to those points where you're like, damn, man, does this feel frivolous? Do you ever feel defeated? Do you ever feel like
Never.
never?
Want to know why? When I can wake up and look at my calendar for the week and see, oh, you got a call with MasterCard, corporate. Oh, you got a call with Microsoft. Oh, you got a call with the Rams. Oh, you got an event with fucking LAFC. You got a, you know what I'm saying? Nike. You got a shoe out with Nike. You got a, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm from Watts. Oh man, I get excited every single day because you know what's in my mind? What else can I do? Who else's life can I change? Who can I make smile today? I told one of my employees yesterday, I said, in 7 days, maybe 3 out of 7, I at least talk to about 2 or 3 people who cry on the phone about whatever they're going through in their life. You know? And that kind of stuff keep me grounded. I don't even remember the last time I cried because my life is that good. I got my kids, I got a wife, faithful. You know what I'm saying? We got a crib. I got 3 cars. Bro, I swear to you, bro. I remember when I had negative dollars in the bank. I remember when I was running scams and all kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Whatever we had to do to get bread. I went to El Camino College for financial aid. I literally wrote on my thing that I was homeless, which I was bouncing house to house. I was like, I'm homeless. And the counselor was like, I'm reading your application. This is impossible. I was like, what do you mean it's impossible? She go, well, it says you have no income. How do you eat? I said, well, I cut grass. I make $30 every 4 days. I literally did that so I can have money to keep myself from not doing the bullshit that I was doing. I was like, I got to figure out something else because I knew where it was going to end up. And it's so easy to learn everything. I learned how to cook fucking crack when I was 7. I was 7 years old. My stepdad was like, just like this. Hey, you know how to cook crack? Man, let me show you.
And that's funny, we were just talking about that. I learned at 13. And it became my means of income. But I think what's important.
My mom was thinking about sending me to a, what's it called? Job Corps.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. But I think what's important for me is to remain tangible. You know, I came home from prison in 2014.
Okay.
I opened this restaurant in 2018. Right? Never worked professionally. First job ever, I was 34, 35 years old. First time ever seen a farmer's market or a fucking Whole Foods was in the Bay Area. I was 36, 37. You know, this was never a path that I sought out. But what I can tell you, what always been a common thing in my life that kept me grounded was the kitchen. You know, I grew up with my grandmother, and you know, she spent hours in the kitchen. So to connect with her, I would be in the kitchen with her. You know, whether helping her wash the collard greens or stealing a piece of chicken behind her back. It was in the kitchen. you know. And then as a teenager in the streets, one of my hustles was cooking crack.
In the kitchen.
That was my job. That's what I did. That's why I have fun. That's why I perform. And then when I got to prison, I landed in the kitchen. You know? And so when I came home from prison, I landed in the
Kitchen.
Y'all both been cooking for a minute.
Now watch this though.
Well, I didn't sell crack because I ain't gonna lie, I was too scared to sell it. Because I seen what it did to my uncles. So go ahead.
But
That's all we need.
never knew that the kitchen would be my path out. When I came home from prison, I knew I believed that I had to stay away from the kitchen because of what my association to the kitchen was on the street. Like I gotta stay out the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? But the kitchen has been the place where, one, I didn't know I was gonna be able to buy a house in Glenwood, build a house in Glenwood, take that back.
Bars.
I didn't know I was gonna be able to write a book.
Bars.
You feel me? So homeowner, author,
Best-selling author.
Yeah.
LA Times bestselling author,
Facts.
Let's
executive producer and co-creator on my own show,
Let's go.
Facts.
entrepreneur, restaurateur, and then also I am building my own game. I come from game coaching. I'm building my own game of
Inside.
entrepreneurs
Inside.
and owners. You know what I'm saying? All from the kitchen.
Right.
You know? And that's what keeps me going. Like they have all this press around me, all this, they have this idea of have this level of success, which I'm been successful. But what's important for me is to remain tangible. And then why that's important is because when I first got that kitchen job at Loco, 2016, I didn't treasure that job. You know, I tried to quit like 3 or 4 times. I was fortunate that the owners supported me, encouraged me to keep going, right? And that uncomfortable situation became comfortable, which led to this.
Yeah.
But the reason I didn't treasure it is because there was no representation for me of where this path can take me. There was no one at the mountaintop saying, I come from where you come from,
Come
I
over
took
here.
this path, it can lead you to here. I am now that representation for at least my community. I'm not saying I'm the only one. I'm not saying that my story is unique or I'm a needle in a haystack. But there's nobody from Watts and Compton that has done what I've been able to do.
Yeah.
Right? So I want to always remain tangible, always remain, you know, an inspiration
Right.
to people.
Right.
Right? I want to, when you come on, whether you come on from prison, you're trying to overcome that. Whether you trying to overcome drug addiction and get your life together. Whether you're trying to like exit the gangs and get your life together. Whether you come from a broken home where both your parents is on drugs and you got trauma, emotional, stunted and all. I went through all that. I experienced all that. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
you can do it.
Yeah.
But
What are the tools, both of you? You guys have seen. We all have
seeing unspeakable tragedy.
trauma, yeah, and unspeakable tragedies. There's got to be some, because for all of us, it sits on us a little bit. Both of you, day to day, how are you maneuvering through these things? Is it meditation? I know you're a vegan. I see that. Is it working out? Is it you're engaged with your work and trying to help other people? But what are the tools that you use to strengthen your resolve, right? So that you can keep going and keep and also the things that keep your cup filled, per se.
For me, it's my people.
Okay.
I get up every day for them. My family, my community, my workers. Like every day, I'm striving to continue to open doors and build platforms. You know what I'm saying? Like I've experienced things that no one ever talks about on this side of quote unquote success. See, there's a misconception of this magic door that you come home from prison, you go up in poverty, you get an opportunity, the door open, you walk through it, and boom, everything is all gravy. Nah, I've learned that everything that was on the outside, other side of the door with you, come through the door. And every day you have to fight hard to maintain every forward step you've taken, every level of success you've gained. I was cooking on that line, had just made top 17 restaurant in the country, 101 best restaurants in LA. I got a phone call that my 76-year-old father was murdered in Compton, driving from the store, war veteran, right? Driving home, driving too slow, pew behind him, blowing their horn. My dad pulled over to the side. They pull up alongside of him, shoot him dead in Compton on Pearl. Right? I get that call. Instincts, first thing, I'm out of here. Get to the car, make a few phone calls, meet me here, bring the shit. We finna tear Compton up. At least that area. Then I had to take a moment. You know what I mean? I had to go through those emotions. And once I allowed myself to go through those emotions, I was able to gather myself, you know, and fight to hold on to this, hold on to the position, hold on what I've been able to create for myself, my family, and other people. You know what I mean? And so I was able to make the phone calls to put everything to bed. Like, man, I'm tripping. Let me go over here and be with my family.
You know, it's interesting, and I'm gonna answer that question. We come from the same area, but have two totally different approaches of how we achieve success. I didn't gang bang, I didn't go to jail, I didn't sell crack, but I still embodied the same, grew up in the same element and was a part of the same shenanigans, right? Still got packed out at times or packed out or whatever. My uncle used to have, I remember I was 14 the first time I carried a gun. My uncle told me, all right, go get my 357, right? So we go through these traumatic events at a very young age.
Yeah.
You know? And so to answer your question, you know what it is? It may not work for everybody. And I'll just tell you what worked for me. There's a dude, he's from the west side, his name Lil Cartoon. He's from Rolling 60s. They call him DK Toon. And I was at his house one day, and I was watching Star Search. I was like, dang, man, I wish I could do that. He said, what? He said, man, come here. And he pulled out this book. It was the Moorish Science Quran. And he said, you need to read that. He's like, because you embody the elements of a star, but you just can't tap into that potential because you so trauma is just
Traumatized.
oppressing you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I read that book that night. I had like the worst dream I ever had in my life, that the devil was trying to kill me. He was literally strangling me by my neck, and it was like 7 other, I ain't never told this story, 7 other demons like holding me down. And then it's like the devil, literally, it's like I could see it choking me and saying, nah, you ain't gonna escape this. We gotta keep you here. And that's what the devil said. And I was like, nah. And you know, that was the day when I was like, God, if you like get rid of this spirit, whatever this is that's around me, I'm gonna do what I need to do. I feel like I got a better purpose. And I woke up, but it's crazy because I felt like I was up. But I woke up and I read that whole Moorish Science Quran from cover to cover. Then I read like the Keys of Moses. Then I read like the Truth About Holidays. Then I read the Bible. Like this week, that whole week, I just read every single religious manuscript. And I just got deeper in contact with spiritual beliefs, not religion, just the spiritual belief. Then I started studying art of manifestation. Then I started the power of words, law of attraction, all of these different things. I started to study. Then I started to apply the shit that I was learning. Because even in all the religious manuscripts, even though people don't understand that they was written by the 7 ecumenical councils of Nicaea, that's a whole nother conversation.
Okay.
So, in all of these manuscripts, it talk about essence, a power, an energy.
Yeah.
That whatever you put out there, basically what they talk about karma, right? Whatever you put out is gonna come back to you. And I start putting that energy out there. Good, positive energy. Do something for somebody, see what comes back. It's always positive. All right, you know what? Well, let me say, yo, I want to perform at the stadium. Perform at the stadium. I want to work with a big artist. I developed Iggy Azalea. You know what I'm saying?
I remember.
Yeah, like wrote everything, produced it. Like, I'm like, that's during the music run. So then, I remember I verbatim, I wrote in the book, in 3 years, I want to own a house. 3 years later, I owned a house. I'm not cap, it's no cap, it's 100%. Everything that I wrote down and I put in the atmosphere, it came to life. So at that moment, and this is pre-Think Watch Foundation and all of this churching with the giving back, right, to community. At that moment is when I said, anything that I want to attain, I just need to speak it, to leave it, have faith, and walk into it. And then it becomes, right? So I said all that to say, for anybody who may see this, energy is real. First of all, we all created of atoms, plus and minus particles. You can't get around that. So that means there's going to be a positive charge and a negative charge. So when negative happens, just know that's a part of existing. You can't live life without negative. And imagine when you harness that understanding that
It's
negative exists.
Life is going life.
And life is going life. And
Life is
positive
gonna life.
exists. So the reason why people like us are so polarizing, think about the science of that. I'm a positive figure from a negative environment.
Yes.
That creates a charge.
What that charge is depends on.
No, that's dope.
And he comes from a negative environment, lived through a negative background, came out of it into a positive world, and now doing for others. Yo, polarizing. It's the same concept.
Yeah.
So once I learned that, I was like, oh, I'm unstoppable. No, nothing can fuck with me. Nothing gonna stop me ever. As long as I breathe, nothing's gonna stop me. I'm gonna put that same energy into my kids, into my wife. Like my wife, dog. Number one, when you got a queen, dog, you gotta take care of her, dog. Because I'm gonna say that I'm gonna make this bold statement that I ain't never said on no other pod, no other interview. If God was a person, because I don't believe God is a person. If God is a person and we could just think that God is a person, then God ain't God. Because God is something we can't fathom. You know what I mean? But if God was a person, it would be a woman. The reason why I say that, everything's called Mother Earth, Mother Nature. When you read every religious manuscript, when you talk about grace and all of that stuff, it's talking about a woman. Dog, we come out of a woman. A woman creates in the stomach. It gives birth. It does all of these crazy things. It goes through a cycle like the seasons, like the winter, spring, summer, fall. Women emotions are like that. It's all over. So I was like, yo, the universe I think is trying to tell something that if you protect, I hate that word protect, like it gets thrown out of context. But if you find one and you harness the energy of that and you build that, dog, your life expands even more. And when that happened for me, my life expand even more. Just like my wife, she worked a 9 to 5. She make great money, but she hate her job, right? Hate it. And so,
They know now. You know they know now.
Oh, well, she gonna be out of there anyway.
Okay, there you
So,
go. There you go.
she would say, I can't start my own business. What kind of king would I be if I allowed my wife to think she can't start? And I got a MasterCard program for entrepreneurs. Building 100 people got LLCs from the hood.
Yeah.
There's people from Gray Street right now who got an LLC, business license and all of that, who would have never had it. Didn't even know nothing about an S Corp or nothing, that came to my program and now got action. You know what I'm saying? Can get a grant and all of that. Anyhow, I'm like, how would I?
That's not anyhow. Like, both of y'all, I'm sitting here and
Yeah.
what you guys are doing, the investment that you have in community, that's why, like.
But that's, wait, before,
That's
because
why
my wife
here.
would kill me if I don't finish this.
Okay.
After I didn't throw all
Said all that.
Yeah.
So we got together, bro. she said, I want to sell moo-moos.
Is that why?
Yo, she said
You know
she
something about the moo
bro.
So they're both friends of mine,
Yeah.
and she has her page,
Wait, what? Facebook?
Oh,
Instagram,
Okay, got it.
and I never talked to her about the moo-moos. I just thought it was something she enjoyed wearing. So she shows how versatile moo-moos is, how everything she does on the page is a moo-moo. Now I understand she's been promoting the moo.
The moo. She got her own moo line. Bro, literally. Yo.
But she never says they're for sale.
Never. Smart. That's first of all, I got a marketing background. I'm a cold motherfucker with marketing.
She just wears them.
So she just wear them and she be dancing and shit
Dancing
on me,
with
and I
them.
just be sitting there like,
Yeah, yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So, my nigga. So she started. We had no manufacturers, no nothing. All I kept saying is, you gonna start this moo line. Say it. And she would say it. All right, I'm gonna start it. First she didn't believe it. Then we would meet with a manufacturer. Then we got jerked. They took some money, didn't give us the right patterns and all of the shit, right? I was like, it ain't. She was like, oh, it ain't gonna happen. I was like, no, it's gonna happen. You gotta believe it though. So then she started believing. She get on Instagram. She bought moo-moos just off of Amazon, bro. Wore it, posted it on Instagram, and it went viral. Like 3 million views. I said, oh no, ain't no way. So then she said, you know what, I gotta do it. We ended up finding a manufacturer. She got them produced, got her patterns done, do all of that. My nigga, she sold out in 2 months. Had a couple hundred pieces, bro. I still got Think Watch clothes at the house that I ain't sold. She's selling out like that. Videos going viral. All because of what? Belief, manifestation. Just saying it's going to happen.
That's
a huge.
Most definitely. But there was another piece to that was important in my story, was giving her opportunity and supporting her and encouraging her in that opportunity when she couldn't see where that can take her, because there was no representation.
Because that's truly our job, right? With the women that we are involved with, wife, even potential wife, girlfriend, whatever, is to, you know, because a lot of times, especially in our like careers, you know what I mean, music, executive, creative, big, you know, this dude, we know what he does. You, all of us, right? We have these sort of like towering professions, and they're kind of, you know, our people are sitting in the back, and it's like, how do I measure up? First of all, you already measure up.
Yeah.
Let me invest in you. What is it that you want to do?
Yeah, but that's not just with our women. With our women.
That's with everybody, kids, everybody.
That's what
do you want to do?
That's what your community.
Yes.
Like,
absolutely.
That's what I'm saying for me. They could never, ever, I don't care how they write the story, how successful they think they make me, or whatever, you will never separate me from Jordan Downs, from Watts. Ever. Ever. You will never get me to think I've got to a point where I'm disconnected to my community.
We are taught to succeed.
To survive and succeed.
Okay, we are taught to survive.
And wealth ain't traditional to some.
I am rooted. I don't care how high the tree grows. My roots never remove. Period. My nutrients come from my community. You see what I'm saying? Like, so they've empowered me. They've given me stewardship to go out and do what I do. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for individuals, right? Who I am, I'm a piece of everybody that I ran with. You know what I mean? I tried on pieces of dudes like that I grew up with, trying to find my identity. I am them. They are me. You know? There's never any separation. So everything that I do
is relative to.
And that's what
That's it.
The key to the conversation I hear is
That's it.
representation, advocacy, mentorship, and belief. Like, I feel like, you know, we talk about it like we don't pour enough into other people, right?
Mhm.
You know, whether that's once you get a little bit of success or knowledge, we have to be pillars and servants of people.
Right.
Oh.
Everything was, if you look, like you said, you brought up God and Jesus, and if you look at any of those people, they were servicing people.
Yeah.
And you guys are walking embodiments of servants at the highest level. And I think that word servant gets a bad connotation too,
Right.
because
No,
when you
but
think
it's a great word.
but it's a great word. And I think for me
It
this
is.
is so exciting to hear this, because you know I met you years ago, but I've just watched you know what you do, and it's a tireless effort to just continue to pour into your people, and not just stop there. Continue to pour into others, and hearing your story. But it doesn't just stop with you being a top chef. Now you're advocating for other people to have opportunities.
it's
of
my job
ownership.
to edify, bro.
Facts.
That's it.
It's
Edify
everybody's job.
your brother. Build them up. Teach them. You feel me? Like when you come in contact, you should leave them in a better place.
One of the prophets, Noble Drew Ali, right?
Man, you gotta can't you make quoting all these names.
Right? Noble Drew Ali said it's called the Word Science 101s, right? It's a bunch of like laws. It's 101 laws, and one of the laws was the duty of a prophet to uplift fallen humanity.
To uplift
Fallen humanity. That is a duty of a prophet. So when you uplift fallen humanity, you're a prophet. That's why what we're doing, we prophesizing.
Yeah.
Everything we say is prophetic. We are prophets of this time. People think that, oh, if you didn't come out of the Bible, you're not a prophet. No, that's box thinking.
Yeah.
No, this is what we're doing. And they asked Jesus in this book. It's called the Equestrian of Jesus Christ, right? And it's all of the. First of all, I read everything, just so you know. Like this.
I can tell.
Yeah.
I'm about to go get
So-
a bunch of books.
And I'm talking
You
about.
can start with mine. It's over there.
Right, it's over there.
Just put it in there now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in the equestrian, they said, Jesus, like, what is your duties? I think he was in one of the temples, right? And he said, my duty is to carry the message to the four corners of the earth, right? Four corners of the earth to uplift fallen humanity. He said that. And so that's why everything I do will always be focused on uplifting those
That's it.
who are fallen.
That's it. I didn't look at it from all that. The only way I looked at it from the fact that I know, because I come from it. I know it's needed. I know the hopelessness of it, right? And like, I would be doing a disservice to myself to not look back, to not reach back. You know, I run a restaurant. I don't hire from Corbin Blue. You know, I hire from people that's in situations that I was in. Coming home from prison, overcoming drugs. Oh, shit, 17, skating by. Like, man, you hiring? Because a lot of time, and I hire people that don't have experience. That's one of my big things. Because if having experience is the prerequisite to get a job, then there's a lot of people that won't have an opportunity. So those people, I seek out. You don't have experience? Well, come on, let me give you your first course. And send you on your way. You job ready. You know?
What he's doing is he's breaking the status quo. The status quo, sometimes we mix up the minority and the majority.
Yeah.
It's like the majority is the people who don't have experience. So you have a bigger pool to pull from to find talent.
Yeah.
So if we start, that's just science and math, man. If we could start reprogramming our minds to look at life like that and reverse what we've been taught and actually look into what it is. A lot of times a lot of people grow up, whether it's a Bible or a Quran or it's a Torah or it's whatever it is, or it's just some other book that they just are connected to. it has a specific set of rules, and it basically says if you don't go by this, you're wrong.
Yeah.
We have to tear down all of that and just look at what common sense is.
Yeah. And we have to also to change the mentality of that. There's not enough time to pour into people. That's the other reason why people they want kids to come out with, like you said, your first job, they want you to have the education already. That's because they don't want to take the time to pour into you, to teach you, to develop.
But pouring into people don't have to be you right here, right? Pouring into people can just be being 100% transparent, being honest with yourself and to the people, right?
Pouring into people could just be throwing them in a situation and letting them figure it out.
But and the reason I say that is because I get letters from prison on the regular where people have read an article, have seen me on CBS Morning, have seen this, right? And I know those are opportunities for me to pour into people.
Absolutely.
So I give them the truth. You know, I give them honesty. I give them all the nuances. It's me preparing them. You know? And I get letters like, man, you inspire me, and I'm proud of you. I love to meet you. I love you to be a mentor. All these things, right? From prison. I'm talking about from not just California prison. You know? And those are like my chances. I'm always about, like he said, what I'm putting out there, what I'm saying, because I know that it's reaching people. And it's like, what do I want to do?
Yeah.
Feed them with.
Yeah, and you guys I think my point is that both your time is very precious. You have families, you have businesses, you're entrepreneurs, but you still take the time to do those things. And people need to hear that if these brothers right here who are building lives for themselves and other people have the time to do that,
bandwidth is very limited. Yeah,
we all can do a bit of that.
Well, first of all, thank y'all for having this discussion, because y'all are creating a platform for us to speak more into existence, for us to expose more of what's happening in our lives, because there's nothing in life that doesn't take more than one person. Nothing. That term, it takes a village, is truly 100% factual. Think about it. When you're born, there's a doctor, there's a nurse, there's a hospital. Somebody built the hospital. The nurse had to go to a school. There's teachers. There's the equipment that's in there. Somebody had to create. It takes a village just to even come into existence.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we have to break this mentality like, oh, I could do it. I made it on my own. Ain't no such thing as I made it on my own. I'm self-made. Now, I understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
Because there are cases where you had to fight through the trenches and you figure things out on your own. Like when you throw a kid in the swimming pool and they just figure out how to start swimming. It's like, yeah, but somebody had to throw you in the swimming pool. Somebody had to put you in the position that you were to make you figure it out. So it always takes, and I think, and I wanted to make sure I touched on this. Black folks, we do a lot of trying to make it on our own instead of helping each other out. But it's because of, it's not our fault. It's systemic oppression. It's preconditioning.
Yes,
like, for instance, I was having a talk with somebody yesterday.
We do not trust each other.
But think about
Don't
it.
trust nobody.
But think about it. Think about it, dog. This is so,
Mainly us.
this is so real. Let's say we come from a tribe of Africa, because some of us are indigenous and we're already here. That's my theory, but that's another story.
Okay.
Right? Let's say we came from Africa, because a lot of us did, our ancestors. We were pulled away from each other from the gate, from our kids, from our family, from this. Some people were fighting for their life, was telling on other people like, oh, he's over. No, not me. Well, you get caught, like it was so much out of fear.
What you mean? We also captured each other and sold
In
each other.
transatlantic slave trade, we captured our own people
Yes.
to sell for trade.
Yes.
This is one of the first forms of business.
Yeah.
In regards to us, right? The trade of our own people. So we came in the gate with trust issues that we inherited. So we have to like really, it's these type of discussions that go over this kind of stuff too. And then we have these discussions to make people realize, oh, this is what I'm going through. I didn't even know why I'm going through this. Then we're like, then it takes, like what Chef Corbin do, it's not something that everybody can do. We also have to understand that. That's an innate thing he has.
Yeah.
He's born with that. Everybody can't be a Chef Keith Corbin. It's impossible. It's scientifically, everybody can't be a Stix. You know what I'm saying? It's an innate thing that whether the creative spirit, creative God, or whatever everybody call it, him, her, whatever it is, it was given to us for a reason, for us to do something with it.
I believe that.
Not everybody is going to do it, but it's our duty to do what we do to create more of, or plant the seeds into other people.
Yeah.
So when they produce an offspring, they create the beings with the innate ability.
Tentacles.
Exactly. So I just wanted to.
Blessing. Well, listen. Before we get out of here, because we got to hard out.
You know, they make a lot of money here, so you know what I mean, we can't take too much time.
What's next? What's going on? What's going on, both of y'all?
So for me, I get asked that question a lot.
Book, obviously.
Well, the book's out.
So there's gonna be a film.
It's already optioned. We're writing the pilot. But those are just other platforms or other doors, right? For me to go in, cultivate relationships, right? Because I might write one book, but I have a network now, and I know the process for someone who wants to aspire to be a writer.
Self-published or published.
But I can make these connections.
Yeah.
I might do one TV show off my life, right? But these are the connections I have now to somebody coming from these situations that inspire to be in film, right? That's how I make connections for other, like to help give other people opportunity. Like that's what's next for me. It's always looking to build a platform and open the door to help bring somebody else through. You know, it's like you're a point guard. Point guard job is to facilitate plays. It's not to score. Can you score? Yes. But your job is to assist other people.
Yeah.
And when people understand that even in that assist, your stats go up too. You know what I'm saying? So you facilitate. I'm the guy that's here to be side by side with the guy who can't speak like I can in a room, who can't get in this door. You know, that's my role. That like, I was granted to be a point guard.
Before Stix jumps on the question, who's your favorite point guard of all time? Come on.
I'm gonna think on that one.
Nah, come on.
And the basketball?
Yeah.
Don't hang yourself.
Kobe wasn't a point guard.
No, he's shooting.
He's a shooting guard.
From LA, right? Magic, right?
That's your favorite point.
I was asking. I'm asking.
I mean, but then Magic's at a time where I wasn't watching.
Okay.
You see what I'm
You
saying?
were doing other shit.
Well, I mean, Magic was in the 80s.
Yeah.
Born in 80.
Yeah.
You know,
So he didn't really get the experience,
his career ended in 94
Yeah.
or something like that. You know, by then I was in the streets.
Yeah.
You know?
We're gonna come back to you on
Yeah.
Magic. Go ahead.
You asking me that same question?
What's next?
And what's next?
What's next? And your favorite point guard.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which one you want to answer first?
I'll say the basketball one.
Okay.
He's the point guard, right? Even though he couldn't answer who his favorite point guard. He's the point. I'm Steph. I'm shooting. Give me the ball. I'm just shooting. I ain't passing. No, I'm just playing. I pass every single day of my life, dog. So,
You wouldn't be
who I was if I didn't pass.
You wouldn't be given the opportunities.
Right, if I didn't. I'm Isaiah Thomas.
I'm with you on that one.
I'm Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah.
You know?
I like Isaiah Thomas.
So,
Instead of Steph.
He's underrated. He's authentic. There's a lot of people who hate him.
It's okay.
A lot of people who love him, but he still produced, and he got the chips, and he got everything.
Yo, again, Stix, Chef Corbin, as always. You know what I'm saying? The big one. You know what I mean? Rich homie cheap. You know what I mean? Thank you guys. Thank y'all, man, so much.
Thank you.
Like, thank you for allowing us to come and sit at your table in real terms.
For sure.
And investing in all of us, because your investment into someone in this, just in close proximity, keeps down some of the shit that we've seen. Because you help someone like, you know what, I don't need to go that way. Same with you. You know what I mean? So just want to like give y'all your flowers, man. Thank you for what you guys do for all of us. For all of us. You know what I'm saying? This is the sweet life.